Greetings, greetings, greetings. You are now tuned into the vault. Trust Christian own nothing, control everything. Just want to thank you for tuning in live, listening to replay. Always appreciate everybody that tunes in live, listens in the replay. This is the vault, episode 538. My corporation equals my person. Definitely want to do this episode today. Appreciate everybody that is a new listener. Appreciate everybody that is a old listener or someone that has listened for a long time. Definitely appreciate everybody that hits the like and the subscribe button. So definitely hit the like and the subscribe button to show your support for the channel. Definitely appreciate it. Today's episode is geared towards my corporation equals my person. This is one of those topics that necessarily doesn't come as a question, but it comes to the vault quite a bit. So we appreciate everybody that listens to this recording, that understands that the importance of, well, what is my corporation and what is my person is a key repetitive word, which is my. Maybe people are tough on the possessive, but nevertheless, if you're on the possessive, my corporation, my person, these are equal. Uh, when you think about people talking about ownership, might as well say it's their own, which is my person. So we're going to come at it from a few different angles that people reach out to the vault and they talk to us about, and they don't really necessarily say my person because that's how it's described, because a person, which isn't legal advice or financial advice, it's just called a legal person. So when you deal with persons, like when they'll ask you, is they or you're asked, as in, people are asked, what's on your person? So what's in your corporation? What assets do you hold? What liabilities do you hold? You, personally. What's on your person? Nothing. It's Trust Christian, own nothing, control everything. Thank you for tuning in live, listening to replay. Still at this point, always appreciate that. My corporation equals my person equals what am I doing? Oh, I have a corporation. Many people have corporations. That's their person. That's the person that they're operating in commerce and business with in the society. So when we see that, okay, they're operating with companies, that means it's on your person. What if you're driving a company car? What's on your person? Okay. And so it's one of those things where we had this conversation actually with a lawyer yesterday. So it gave us good content and feedback to this particular episode, which is dealing with my person. A lot of times when people ask, well, what is on my person, or why am I being described as a person? It's because how is a natural being going to be charged by a fictitious entity? It cannot be. So when people say, oh man, they trying to charge me on the legal front, okay, well, is it a legal person? My corporation, is it a legal corporation? Is it a public corporation? So these are the questions that we would share with trustees and have conversations with them about, and people that will reach out and they would ask about my corporation. Oh, well, I have a corporation. I don't want to keep doing business with my person. See how that works? They want to do business, but they don't want to do it with what? Their person. And so you say, oh, well, how does that work with no person? Right? It ends up looking like things become independent in themselves. Separation of assets. My corporation equals my person. This was one of those easy conversation points when we talk about it. just from the perspective that so many people, they say, "Oh man, I don't want to be tied to be a I don't I'm a natural being. I don't want to be the fake entity that's on paper." Okay, but who's doing business on behalf of the fake entity on paper? Who's doing business on behalf of that fictitious person? Who's doing business on behalf of that person? Who's doing the transactions? Who's doing the signatures? Oh, this is what people say. Oh, I can create money out of thin air because of my signature, just like the Federal Reserve. Really? Is it whose signatures on the dollars? They're actually specific people's signature. It's not all everybody that has the faith in the currency doesn't have their signature on it. Those mechanisms are a system. That's why they have two specific names on the currency that the Federal Reserve utilizes. So then we get into, okay, well, if that's what they're doing, what are they going to do? We're not getting into crypto. Create your own currency. Because you hear how it went back to my currency, own currency. So it's an easier way to ledger private transactions. So maybe it did get a lot of public money, but this really a private environment because it says that the ledger's private. Crypto says that the ledger's private. It's not anything to debate about. But oh no, no. Somehow they turn over the books all the time on the crypto side. So how do you do business? How do you interact and not have my person be in commerce? Oh, well, I have a job. How do I get out of this situation? Let's talk about it. So it doesn't have to be a corporation. It's still my person. When you go into a job, they ask you for your personal identification number. See how they went personal. They didn't say what's your business identification number. They said what's your personal identification number because it's your person. It's the business person that's operating in commerce. Now, some people say, "Oh, I don't want to use that one. The number's not the best number. It incurs full liability. It makes me liable because I'm the one literally building equity into the name. I'm the one building cash flow through the name. This is what's said to us. I'm building money through the name. So I don't want to use that name." This is what they say. So then the system says you can go start a corporation with your person. So you have a person, and then you have a corporation that a person starts. Doesn't that how the legal sentence sound? Right. So there's this person that goes creates this corporation. But there are many that come and say, "Well, I don't want to be liable because I don't want to be really the starter." Now, fair enough. On the books, Mark Zuckerberg probably didn't really start the company, but on the board, he started the company. That's for any corporation. They didn't necessarily go and file the paperwork. Maybe he tried to copyright the name faster than someone else. We could see that. But then when you even go look at that, ladies and gentlemen, when you all go look at the owners of these companies' names, it's just another company. It's not the actual guy that you see as the CEO of the company. And we know this. Why? Because they're actually called structured properly. That's what it's called. They have a higher level of knowledge. If you think that knowledge is not separate, how is it not separate? They're structured correctly. You can't be mad that they'll make billions of dollars and they pay minimal in anything. Company cars, company everything. What makes them different? It's the knowledge that's executed, the know-how, the not letting your ego get in the way of, I need to be the author of this project. You hear that? Pride of authorship has killed more deals. We're sitting in the room with the mentors and they're sitting there telling us this. We're sitting there like, we can see that. Why? Because think about how many people come to you and are supposed to pay you. Do you get checks every time? Is it you getting a check? Is the company getting a check? There's a difference. Oh, what do you think any big shot says? Call my company line. Write the company a check. That's what they say. They don't say, oh, yeah, you're going to write me a personal check because you're going to make an investment. Even investors, when people talk about, oh, I want to do business with other people, you do it through a corporation or some type of what they call legal person, just maybe not your own. So this is where, yes, pride of authorship, people sit in the room, egos are involved. Who's going to be able to take the most percentage? Whereas when you sit in the company, the percentages are still on the board. It's just different when people are able to take out cash right away, and then we do disbursements as, when you see on the board, a lot of times they have bonuses. A lot of companies give out bonuses. You see those things, ladies and gentlemen, all the time. But is it going to the person or is it a bonus? See, this is where you get into the information. Really? That's it? You just get into the information? 100%. I didn't know that there were a thing called bonuses for a CEO, especially when we run into entrepreneurs at the vault and they have $1 million businesses. We run into entrepreneurs at the vault all the time that have $1 million business, like legitimate businesses, not an internet business. They have $1 million business. Putting quality procedures in place is very, very important. Making sure that a bonus is possibly there. Why not? It doesn't even have to be called a fringe benefit. Once again, looking into these things. Oh man, I got to look into that specific term. Of course. Because the bonus for my person and the bonus for the corporation is a difference. So we definitely appreciate everybody for tuning in live, listen, replay. Feel free to type into the chat where you're listening live or listening in from the replay. Definitely, I always appreciate it. Definitely hit the like and the subscribe button. Definitely appreciate that. So appreciate you all for tuning in. This is one of those episodes. Didn't need to be too long, but we definitely wanted to go over specifics when it comes to my corporation, my person. This has been something that people have definitely reached out for years and says they don't want to be the legal person. Okay, so what are you? They'll say I'm the natural person, and they'll say I'm owner. I own now the legal. Well, if you own it, doesn't that make it? Doesn't that make you liable? It's an easy question to answer. Doesn't that make you liable if you own it? Oh, I own my name. I want to own my name. They tell you to own everything. It's trust Christian. Own nothing, control everything. But oh no no. Hey, I gotta own everything. Well, if you end up owning things, you're gonna be liable. That's how it works. Because you're responsible for it. That's what it says. Well, that's why they came out with this thing called a LLC. Think about it. They have a corporation, but which one's better, the corporation or the LLC? Oh, if you go get an LLC, it's going to limit just enough for your liability to where, guess what? When you're dealing with a savvy individuals like the vault, where yes, we know how to go put a lien directly on your name, that how are you protected? How are you protected when you can have creditors' liens put on your name? Oh man, I didn't think about that. Right. And so we live in an environment where people say, "Oh man, can I or will I be sued?" Even if you're not sued, what if someone sues? Here we go. Your corporation. Do they put a lien on you? Do they put a lien on the company? Do they put a creditor's lien on the company? Do they put a creditor's lien on the cash flow? Do they get immediate relief? Do you know how to stop those what they call impungent type of penalties? Those things are real. So it's interesting to say, oh well, how do we get around those things? And is it just, do you trust Christian? No, nothing control everything. That's how. My corporation. We see people all the time say, oh man, you should go to this state, go to that state. Then when you get to, oh, you got to put your name in. who's the owner of the company. Oh, we got actually this is a great topic. Oh, we're going into 2024 and it's these laws that are going to change everything in the corporation space. This is literally what we've been hearing like for the past 3 to 4 months, especially supposedly about this new corporation blah 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 in the public, that when you think about it, ladies and gentlemen, corporations are even state based. So why would you be concerned? But this how you know, you either know or you don't know. Corporations are state-based entities. So when, especially in the states. So when you think about that and you're able to delve deep, you think some states are about to out the owners of all these companies from previous years? Not at all. Not at all. So, oh man, what state is it supposed to be? Is it Wyoming? Is it Delaware still? Is it Vegas? Most states require people to have a registered agent nowadays. So, what they say, even if you almost get hit for suit or the court gets hit for suit, they have some type of I wouldn't call it a legal standing, but they have what they call registered agents nowadays. They went registered agent route. A lot of states nowadays, from what we can see, dealing with trustees and people in general that reach out to the vault. So my corporation and my person. That's what we wanted to talk about today. Appreciate you for tuning in live, listening to replay. Always appreciate everybody that tunes in live, listening to replay. Feel free to hit the like and the subscribe and the replay. Definitely, type into the chat where you're listening in. We always can go back and hit the like and the appreciation. So definitely appreciate that. And it's been a great one for sure. We're coming up close to the wrap up the end of this year. We actually had a high net worth investor event we went to, and they still didn't talk about corporation. They talked about their persons though. They definitely talked about their persons and how they operate, making sure that they're protected, making sure that they have scans on their names publicly so they can be in control of where their name is out there on the public platforms. These are the things that we're dealing with when it comes to AI and technology, where we're dealing with companies where, yes, they are scanning the internet, finding where your name or the name or a name is located all over the internet, and being able to scrape those names and claim the name, image, and likeness into a one composite, which is a big deal, ladies and gentlemen, especially as we grow over the internet. To see that is going to be a big deal. So, look forward to seeing you all, hearing from you all. Christian at trustchristian.com. Once again, that's Christian at trustchristian.com. Christian at trustchristian.com. Look forward to hearing from you all. Peace. Enjoy.